One of the educators opposing the mandate is Rob Miller, the superintendent of public schools of Bixby, Oklahoma. Rob, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much. So, cleared up for how exactly are you being ordered to use the Bible in your lesson plans?
Well, we've received a couple notifications from our state superintendent. The first was in an open board meeting where he simply made that announcement that there will be a Bible in every classroom and that teachers will teach from it. He followed that up with a couple pages of guidance as to how we might incorporate the Bible into the study of U.S. history, world history, music, and art, but he has still failed to articulate clearly how we're supposed to bring the Bible into every classroom and how other teachers, for maybe a seventh grade math teacher or a kindergarten teacher or a chemistry teacher, is supposed to include that Bible in their teaching.
It says all schools are required to, quote, teach the historical significance of the Bible. I'm not sure how that works in math classes, you just pointed out.
No, neither do I. And we agree with the state superintendent that the Bible does have a place as the study of religion in historical and social context, the formations of governments, things that we're already doing that are already part of our Oklahoma academic standards. We've got that covered. The part of this that we don't have a true understanding is what he wants us to do with the Bible in all of these other classrooms for which there are not academic standards that align with.
Yeah, we do have a separation of church and state in this country. Is this order even legal?
Well, there will be different interpretations of that. We don't believe that it is. We believe that it's against the Oklahoma Constitution. There is a clear separation of church and state in the Blaine Amendment. We're not allowed to use taxpayer dollars to purchase religious texts, so that would be the first violation of that. And then I do believe that there are federal statutes and precedents in place that we need to adhere to relative to this. And so I want to be clear that we're not trying to keep the Bible or religion out of our schools. They're already here. What we're trying to do is to protect the religious freedoms of all of our students in every district in Oklahoma.
Well, and this order isn't that you're supposed to have the Bible or the 10 Commandments in the classroom. It's that you're supposed to teach from the Bible. So you will refuse to follow this order?
We will not be forcing our teachers to do this. The Oklahoma Supreme Court was very clear a few months ago in saying that local boards of education have the authority to choose curricular resources for our teachers, and we'll continue to teach the academic standards as we have. And I'll simply say, as a Christian myself, the idea of diminishing the Word of God to a mere classroom prop is a little revulsive to me. So we will not be complying with that directive of having a physical Bible in every classroom.
At least a dozen school districts have also said they will not comply. Ryan Waters said in response he will, quote, hold teachers and administrators accountable. Rogue left-wing activists who refuse can leave Oklahoma and go to California. Are you a rogue left-wing activist?
Far from it, Elizabeth. As many of my colleagues, we are not. This is a very conservative red state, very Christian state, and so that mere narrative is just a red herring, trying to stir people up. We're going to continue to serve our students here in Bixby, Oklahoma, as in other districts, and do the best that we can. But I don't honestly know the true reason behind this. All I can speculate is that somebody is looking to maybe push a case to the U.S. Supreme Court and get some precedent overturned. But right now, we're not going to be a party to that.
Yeah, you know, in all seriousness, Oklahoma does have the second worst public education system in the country. I would think that perhaps the school superintendent might be more focused on that than on Bible classes.
Yes, and we could argue about that statistic you just shared, Elizabeth, but I'll give you that. Again, we're focused on serving our students here in Bixby, Oklahoma. What we have is an urgent need for teachers. We've got an acute shortage of high-quality teachers for our classrooms. That should be the top priority of our state superintendent, not some of these political issues.
All right, Rob Miller, thanks so much, and good luck with the new school year starting next week.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.